record here. So we have whoops. Somebody removed the members meeting from the calendar. Please don't do that if you're an admin on the calendar.
What members meeting?
The Wednesday members meeting was not on the calendar yesterday. Somebody removed it for the rest of the year. And you know, that happens easily because one reason is there's too many admins in the calendar. Have to, I guess, we should have an official calendar management team, that people who know how to manage a calendar without deleting meetings for other people when they want to delete them for themselves. So what was it? Oh, I was looking for the trust metric. Okay, so the idea is that liquid democracy is from the bottom up in a group or an organization. It's from the members. Okay, the trust network goes from the top down, sort of. Not that you have a top in a leaderless organization, but you have a trust, and really everybody has trust with everybody else, okay, so to speak. And in a group, there's a trust. There's trusted members and there's new members. Like in Spiral, you know, it's 2 years normally that they'll have a member before they give them any budgetary authority or can even vote on budgets. And every group is different in how they handle this trust metric, but we have it based on the Ballot.rho, so that we have the liquid democracy. And we probably should have more information on the trust network here, but basically Dan Connolly prototyped it in PHP, and trust ratings, I guess they call it, and
we need to rewrite it into Rolang.
Yeah, and it's really pretty simple. Okay, there's I guess two things that we need to look at here, and I might as well get started, huh? Rosie. Okay, so I need to create a branch for the trust metric. Git.
Are you sharing?
Oh no, I thought it was. What's the matter with me? I was looking at the
Can you go through the concept once again?
Jim,
yeah, I didn't really go through the concept.
Can you send this link, please?
Yeah, if you look in the archive documentation, there's a link here to the trust metric, but
Okay.
it's more than that. Basically, within a group or from an individual perspective, there trust rating associated with other people, and the Ballot.rho trust method, which is described here, is what was implemented, where where you have observers, you have apprentices, you have journeyer, and you have master. So in essence, what happens is the people who collaborate on forming a group or an organization rate each other's generally as a master. And then they can certify individuals come in. When an individual comes in, he comes in as an observer. And observers basically get one vote. Okay, and then when you certify someone as an apprentice, okay, this is, like when they're attending work studies or they're taking some role or they're involved in some activity of the group. And they get 2 votes. And this can vary. There's all kinds of different weights that can be assigned to this. Trust,
Yeah, sorry.
the trust rating is just a number, which is equal to the equivalent number of votes they get. So, if 2 apprentices vote yes, 4 observers have to vote yes to equal it. Right?
Jim, can you hear me?
Hmm?
Yeah, I wanted to say, so there's this quick thought that just went through my head. I've been thinking about for a while. So I can see that there are plenty of similarities between the trust rating and also a multi-sig.
Oh yeah. Oh, multi-sig. Some kind of multi-sig, some kind of decision process. Any kind of decision process can be hooked to a wallet or to a contract.
So basically, we could use the implementation we have of a multi-sig to we can tweak it to implement a trust.
Yeah, well,
rating system.
we have to add the liquid democracy also, right? Because you have both of them working together at the same time. Okay, so you have the liquid democracy, and but the votes are weighted according to trust metric. And we can show you that a little bit. We can actually look at the contracts. Okay. And before we look at the contract, let me make a branch. So I'm going to call it trust. Oh, but I want to go to master first, I think.
You spelled that wrong.
You need to resolve your current index. Needs to merge. Oh, how do I resolve that?
Why not just touch your changes?
I don't have any more. I don't have any. I don't have any conflicts that I know of. So I have to stage the changes first. And commit it. Okay, so now I can do this. Okay. I'm in master now. I have to do a trust. Okay, I'm in the trust branch, and I probably should have used the code for all this, but I'm still not used to using code for everything. And I refresh and the files. Okay, so I go into the Rolang core programs, and I go into Ballot.rho. Okay, so basically we want to add, we want to have a trust metric, a trust value associated with members. So when we give right to vote, we want to we want to add to, I'm just going to comment this for now, but basically I'm going to support the old interface. And so we have give right to vote. We need to add trust. Or do we need to add trust? It's a good question. We may or may not want to assign a trust value to someone when we add them, which is sort of why I wanted to leave the original interface. I'll leave that for now, which will do an add admin bang. Oh, well, I'll type it. Give right to vote. Name.
Give right to vote, not tight. And it's gov instead of give.
I should have copied and pasted it. Huh? Give right to vote. Name and return. It's a name, so I have to give it a star. And the same thing with log. Okay, so we're going to have a trust. So we're going to create a trust value associated with the right to vote. And then we're going to give a trust value to a member of a group. So when we give a member of a group the right to vote, it's going to give them, it's going to assign their trust value. Okay. Oh, I'm just going to give them a trust value of 1. So if we don't give the trust value, it assigns 1 vote. So basically, you can use the trust value or not in your group, if you know, depending on what you're doing. In which case, everyone gets 1 vote. See what I did here? Questions? Clear?
The one, I can't see any arguments for the trust metric.
It's here.
Oh, okay, I didn't see that. Okay, yeah, okay.
I added trust to the interface, but I want to support the interface without the trust also, right? Just to default everyone to one vote per person. But you know, in our case, we'll have a trust value associated with a group member, and that'll be used when we give them the right to vote.
Okay.
Okay, so what do we have here? So we create a new voter, and the voter has a vote channel, and I guess we also have to give them a trust channel, right? Because for each voter, we're going to have an associated trust value that's going to be kept on the trust channel. Okay, and we're going to send to the trust channel the well, I could say at trust here, or let me just do the same thing here. I'll put it the name of trust here, so that down here I can just write trust. Okay, so yeah, so now he has a trust value, right? So basically, when we do the tally now, okay, we have to take into account his trust value. So we're going to go through each voter here. And we're going to we're going to get his counts. And we need a way to get we're going to find his current choices. But we also need to find get his current his trust value. And to some extent, it would be convenient to get them at the same time. But up here in the voter object, okay, we're going to have a we're going to be able to get the trust value. And I'm not gonna bother to give a log. And the trust, and I'm just gonna send to the return channel the trust. Now, this is probably not correct, actually. I'll just put a comment here. What if trust changed? We may want to address that at some point. Okay, so, oh, we don't need prior delegates. So we just have, we have another method here, trust, which actually, which returns the trust value. And I can do that because trust is in scope here. So if we're not going to be able to change the trust, he really doesn't need another variable trust. Really, I wonder if I should take it out.
Sorry, you said if we're not going to be able to what change the trust, we don't need. Can you
If the user's not going to change the trust, we don't need to store it. Okay, because
but we'll need to display that.
okay, so what I did here is in the trust, I returned the value that's passed to the add voter. Okay, and I mean, we can always add it back, but we might, we'll keep it simple for now. When you add someone to vote, you assign a trust value to them, and that doesn't change. It's all, you're adding them to vote on one ballot, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to use the same trust value for every ballot. In fact, you won't, because well, depending upon the group, whatever. Okay, so we have the trust. Okay, so down in the tally here, we're going to get the counts.
I'm starting to understand it.
Where's the voter? We get the choices here, right? So so we're going to get the trust. And we're going to need a return channel. And we can't use the same channel here. So I'm going to now, where did this return? What's this return here? And what's this act here? I mean, we can use act. I think we can use act, but let's just for the heck of it, let's just do a return 2 here. The problems that can come up will kill you when you try to reuse channels. because everything's happening in parallel. You have to really think it. Okay, so now we're going to do a join here. We're going to get votes. Okay, and we're going to do a join. We're going to get at trust. In from return to. Does that make sense to everybody?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. And now we have the, it's going to, he's going to vote on each issue here. And instead of just one vote, he's going to get one vote times the trust metric, or the trust metric amount of votes. And let me view word graph here. So here we're going to add counts for the current issue. We're going to add one vote. Well, if everybody has a trust value of 1, then yes, we're going to add one vote. But since they could get more than 1, we put trust here. Okay, this is very convoluted here, but it's pretty simple. Okay.
What does get or what method is get or else?
Well, okay, so we're going to get the number of votes for that proposal on that issue. So let's say the vote is yes or no. Okay, so if the guy voted yes and 3 other people voted yes, the votes at the end is going to be 3. So it's going to add 1 to it, and it's going to be 4. But if nobody voted yes, then it's going to get a nil back for votes of n. There's going to be nil. But the get or else says, okay, if it's nil, return a 0.
Can you explain get or else without using the trust metric? Just use a way simpler example to explain get or else.
It has nothing to do with the trust.
Yeah,
I was
that's my
adding 1 to the count of yeses. I'm adding n to the count of trust. The count of trust is either the previous value of votes of n, okay, or, and how do I get rid of this thing? It's taking up space here. Close. I don't know how to close this. Well, I can get rid of this. I'll fix it. Okay, I wanted to put that on one line. Okay. Okay, for the nth proposal, the nth issue, okay, we have issue of n. So there's 4 issues, n. For the nth issues, okay, votes of n is the number of votes we have for that choice. Yes, we have 3 of them, right? Or we have none. If we have none of them, if we've never assigned anything to votes of n, it's going to be nil, right?
Mhm.
Well, I'm looking at the wrong. Okay, so it's saying get votes of n or else if it's nil, return a 0.
Okay.
Because obviously, if we never assigned anything to yes votes, if we never added anything to yes votes, and we don't have any yes votes, we're going to have, it's going to be 0.
What's
We want to assume it's 0.
what's the difference between using a regular if else and using a get or else?
Well, and if else, basically, I mean, this would take a lot of lines of code because I'm going to get the counts here, get or else, and I'm going to do another get or else here. But it's basically the same thing. We could say if votes event equals nil, votes event. And of course, then we have to access votes event twice, once to test it and again to use it.
So are you familiar with the ternary operator in JavaScript? So we can basically call this like a syntactic sugar for if else or something similar to the ternary operator in JavaScript.
I think JavaScript is an expression language, so you can invite, you can put insert JavaScript anywhere. I don't, the if else, I guess in Erlang is also an expression. Huh? I mean,
I mean, if in JavaScript, if we were to use a ternary operator to express this, we could do something very similar to what we have as the get or else.
Yeah. So if we have a what? So if we have let me just do this. If we say x right, if 3 equals 3, yes, else no. Okay, do we expect this to work?
Yes, it should work.
Is robot working? It's not getting anything. No, it didn't print anything.
done.
I had a feeling this was not gonna work, but I
Why?
can't tell you exactly why it won't work. Because Rolang is not an expression language. In other words, if we would have to do this, we would have to say, uh,
So when you say Roland is not an expression language, you mean it doesn't evaluate expressions the way a language like JavaScript, like if, for example, if you were to do
Yeah.
that in
well, in JavaScript, every statement has a value. Every
Yeah.
okay, and that's not true in Rolang. I mean, certainly if could be implemented as a function, but apparently it isn't. Okay, so now I got an error. What I do wrong? Oh, I got an extra.
No, it's on line 2, I think. The last, you need to take out the last curly brace. The last one. Yes, yeah, you need to take that out. No, not that. Yes, that.
Last parentheses.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to send. You have to put a Rolang statement in here, not an expression.
So can you do this same thing using get or else?
Yeah, we can say X bang. Um, uh, so we have, let's see, we can have 1, 2, 3 dot get or else. We'll do the same thing. Get or else. Wait. Okay, well, okay, so a list doesn't take get, right? I have to, let me do a map.
So basically, get or else iterates over a list of values.
No, it doesn't. So we get or else. Get or else. And then I need.
I was thinking the expression before the dot get or else is supposed to be like a condition.
No, the get, it has to be something that supports get.
I mean, okay, so how
So
do we,
this is a map. Maps support get, I think, right?
okay, so how do we interpret this?
Syntax error. Get or else. I'm getting confused here. Counts is a map. And it's getting the counts for the current label of the nth item. So that should be right. We have a map, right? We have a get or else. Syntax error. Oh, I see. I have an extra, I'm missing a quote.
Oh, I think inside of the dog, A and dog, you have like, where does that brace, the closing brace, where does it open?
I see. Should be no brace there.
I think you need to have a double, another bracket, another bracket. You should have another bracket at the end of line 2. And a closing, yeah, and another one.
Another parentheses.
Yeah, parentheses, yeah.
Whew. Okay, so A existed, so we got cat. Okay, B is not in the map.
Okay,
So
yeah.
you get dog.
Okay, so I can interpret this like the first argument checks for what exists in the expression in the variable or object that we have.
Right.
And if it doesn't exist, it selects the second argument.
Yeah, it gives a default value.
Oh, okay. I've been trying to understand this for a while now. I think, yeah, I think it's clear now.
The default value?
The default value is dog if whatever key we put here doesn't exist. Okay, whatever key we put here, the default value. Now, if I put key here,
Okay, yeah, that's because it's false.
all right. Key exists,
Yeah.
so it's cat. It gives you the value of that key. So we have a key, we have a value, and then we have undefined. Or has a value. The key to undefined. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically we're done here.
Can you please go back to, I want to write something down. So I've been trying to understand that for a while. So I just want to quickly write something.
What do you mean?
Yeah, I just want to write down this example.
You want to take remote control?
I want to write it down, so on my notepad.
Oh. So if we went to
Yeah, that would be really good for you.
what? Not running? Not running. I hate when that happens. I don't know why that happens. Uh, uh, PN2. Okay. Restart robot. I don't know. I didn't look at what was wrong with it. Oh, I know what's wrong. Silly me. I forgot the colon. Robot commands all have a colon. Syntax error 4.1. Why does it say that? Does it not like this? Oops. I did it again. Forgot the colon. You see any other problem with this? Okay. Yeah, apparently it didn't like the 3 dits on the same line with the end parentheses. Ah. Now you put it in. And what did yours do? Yours didn't do nothing. What did you put? I don't know why this didn't work. What did you put? You have to, what I normally start it with 3 dots and scale. 3 backticks. So you don't really need them. That's to get highlighting, and it didn't highlight it. See how it highlighted here? That's the scale of highlighting. There we go. Oh. You deleted it, huh? And I can delete a lot of these extra ones too. All right, delete that. And delete that. I don't know. I don't have to delete that, but I'll leave that in there. Okay, so so we see how we added trust metric to the ballot class. And but we also have to add it to add the trust. Okay, so we have to add the trust metric to the group. Okay, so when we do a similar thing, we have to do a similar thing here. Where we do an add user here. We want to include a trust. And again, when we include the trust, we want to, I'm going to preserve the old interface. If you're not using trust, you don't have to provide it. And the trust will always be set as 1. Oh. Okay, and then we have how do we what do we have? We have add. We have some kind of thing here for oh. We have add group to issue, which it doesn't give right to vote. Okay, so it gets, so that would, I mean, we could fix that right, you know, right in here in that we have to, when we get the, we're going to get the group here. Adding users. And it does a loop here. And okay, so it's going to call it with the map. and it's going to get the map. Where's the map? Okay. I'm going to call it loop with the map here, but there's no, it didn't create map. And here it's going to call the group loop on the tail. I don't see where it calls loop. First time.
Sorry, where the contract loop is implemented, but where do we call loop?
Right. That's what I'm looking for.
There, for members.
Ah. Okay, so it gets the keys of the members. So it uses the read permission on the dictionary to get the keys of the members. Okay, so what we're going to want to do is for each key, we're going to want to, then it calls them with all the members here. So when we call loop, we're going to get the members. And that's the map. Okay, and we pick out of the map the if it's empty, we don't do anything. We pull out the username, the inbox, the delegate, and we're going to have to pull out the trust too. So for every member, we're going to have a trust value. So when they get added to an issue, it'll add the trust value. Now this is new ballot cast value. We actually don't have add group to ballot. Oh well. But you could see how this would work. And it's getting kind of late. So I will just go back to the ballot. And that's modified. Make sure I write that. And we'll go to the ballot here, and I'll stage that. And add trust to ballot. And I'll commit that, and I'll push that. Would you like to publish the upstream branch? Okay. Okay, so step one in the trust metric is done. There's be a number of other steps to complete. How much of that did you understand, Sherrill? You're on mute if you're talking.
Sorry, I was out for a while.
Okay.
What are you saying?
I was saying, you know, we completed the update to the Ballot.rho file. We created the trust branch. We pushed it to GitHub, which is step one in developing the trust ratings, the trust metric. Creating a trust network is what we're really what we're doing here. And it's being able to make decisions, better decisions that are in line with the group objectives.
Delegated to other people. So
Right. Well, there's a couple of things that happen here. Okay. Now, these are going to be like basically basic tools. Okay. If you're having and I don't know how this come out, but if we're voting for committee members, let's say we're voting for the governance committee members. Okay, typically the members of the board would have the highest trust rating, and along with some other members of the community that are highly trusted. Okay, and let's say the board doesn't trust Dan Connolly, but everybody else does. Well, they're going to outvote the board. But the board is generally going to have a large amount of say in who gets on the governance committee. And the reason that's important is because of pure democracy makes bad decisions. Which is, and if we really want to make good decisions, we need to base it on trust.
Yeah, but we make our decisions based on trust anyway.
Right, and like I said,
yeah, I get what you mean.
You have to have the organization or the group or the team has to have a direction, has to it has to have people who have the responsibility to direct it towards its goals and give it continuity in decision making. I mean, the mob will change their minds every day, and follow the whims or whatever. But I don't know. So everything is an experiment in any case, and we're experimenting with this. We experimented with it in the bounty system, and it didn't work too well because people gave trust willy-nilly to people that did not have, were not, uh, uh, had
Trustful.
basically, they had no stake in the organization or whatever in terms of coordinating the activities. The activities have to be coordinated, otherwise they're going to be scattered all over the place. And they're and, um, and the and how we use it is still open. I mean, let's say we have somebody who's elected, somebody who's on the committee. How much is he trusted by the community? So, I mean, there's trust going up as well as trust going down. And how well he's trusted by the community is really determined by how many people have delegated to them. So, if let's say Rao's on the governance committee and you delegate to Rao in the governance committee. Well, there's two kinds of votes that they can have. One is with or without member trust. They can look at the two solutions. They can publish the two solutions. They can use them as part of understanding the sentiment of the community versus the sentiment of the co-op or the group organizers or the group leaders.
Yeah.
So it's a tool. It's not a complete solution. But in general, it's going to make better solutions than pure democracy. And it may be, it can be right, representative or not. I mean, it doesn't have to be representative in the sense of, you have a team that has a certain responsibility. You have how are those team members respected by the community or not? That's may or may not have any influence on the decisions of the group. The group's autonomous really and can make decisions any way it wants. But we can see how much trust they have from the community. Right. So I'm going to take off. It's almost the top of the hour, unless there's any other questions or
Did you push your changes?
yes, I did. I only changed the one class. I figured we should change the user class in a separate work study.
What
Group.
branch?
The group class.
I mean, what branch? What branch?
Trust.
Okay.
Okay. trust the ballot.
Okay, so, we could, so we probably should do, and probably could do it, we should do in the same things. We can't really test this by itself. But we can't, what we can do is we can, add voter, where's the add voter to ballot? We have add voter to ballot to issue, but not to ballot. Because we have two different things. We have issues, we have ballots. And I suppose we could add it in both places.
Are you sharing?
Oh, no. Okay, so we have ballots, which, you know, a ballot has multiple issues. And the implementation is independent. But we never put in an add voter to ballot. I can't believe that. How did we test it? I don't know how we tested it without an action. Actions. Add group to issue. Add voter to issue. Huh. Okay, so, I mean, we tested it here, like with a ballot, and then we called the give right to vote here. I guess we never added the action though. Add user to ballot. So, but you know, we could update this test program by adding a trust value to these things. I suppose we should probably do that, but we'll, you know, and also the uh, actions have to be added to the menu. All right, guys. Yep, we're over time now. No, we're not. We've still got 2 minutes. Anything else?
That was a lot to take in. But yeah, it was useful.
Yeah. And I wasn't sharing screen again. Showing down here in the test.
No,
Okay.
you were. You stopped it, I think.
Oh, okay. But you know, we could we could add trust values to this and see how it comes out. See if it calculates properly. Which is probably should be the next step.
Does Roland have a way of gathering signatures? like deployer ID, right? It's a signature. Okay, yeah.
No, the deploy ID is the signature on the deploy. Signature of the deploy. Deployer ID is sort of like their private key.
Deployer ID is the private key. Okay.
Okay, so but we do.
And does the contract have a signature?
A deploy does so. The contract. I mean, that's I don't think. I mean, the contract is signed with the deployer for the deployer of the contract. Contract itself can have a web address, which is a public key, but I don't think it can have a private key.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't. And can a contract sign a message?
That's a reasonably good question. I don't think it can. I think we probably discussed that with Dan. It's probably an issue. I mean, it's an issue. It's an issue when with respect to. It may be an issue with respect to handling shards. It's like when if one contract, if a contract on shard A deploys to shard B, how is it signed? That's really the problem that needs to be resolved. All right, guys, have a good one.
Thanks, Jim.
We'll see you Saturday morning.
All right, take
Okay,
care.
I'll try and be there.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.